Greetings and salutations. Welcome back. I am Karen Russmore, and this is my Twitch stream where I am playing Pathfinder Kingmaker. I'm a lot of hours into the game. I cannot remember at all what I was doing last session. I was generally walking around. I remember that much. I think I just popped back to my capital because people had gotten injured. Hey, Ally. Yeah, I'm having not too bad of a day today. Bit tired around the edges, but otherwise okay. How about yourself? There was a ruined watchtower, and I'd just finished doing all of that. And hopefully, does this mean that his arc thing is done? That's a question. Unwanted legacy. Show the dwarven runes to have harem. So that's not done. So this ruined watchtower had nothing to do with him. Doing well off this week, so prepping the society game for next Tuesday. Oh yeah, society game. I am kind of curious. I've played like one Pathfinder 2 society scenario, so I'll laugh my ass off if it is this one. It was a while ago, so it's only vague that I remember. Hello. What did that thing say? Stinky, lousy, dribbling carrion eaters. From the Dwemer Cat. I've never done any, but it would be funny if you... yeah, that's the thing which makes me wonder if I have actually done it, because I can't... It was fairly close to when it launched. I've just remembered I didn't stop the other music, and that's why everything seems loud. There we go. I actually have semi-proper music. It's basically the playlist of the soundtrack of the game, which helps when I go on break and start up the stream. But yeah, it's excessively. I have the audio in my ears for how I'm hearing things, and it was like, I'm having to talk really loud over this music. Why is that? Oh yeah, because it's a backing one. So yeah, it was fairly early to the launch, so I have a feeling it might have been sort of like the very early repeatable that they tend to do. But I could be wrong. Like I say, if I have done it before, I really don't remember much about it. And it's the first natural one. I have a feeling that there's a bug somewhere in this game that basically means the first combat roll of every single combat is going to be a natural one. It just always seems to play out that way. I mean, the fact that it came up with a 5 and then a 4 for the next 2 rolls, that's just random. My luck astounds many people. Were you here for the time that I needed Anne-Marie to drink some healing potions because she was nearly dead? Drank 8 healing potions. 5 of them. 5 of them were a natural 1 for a total of 2 healing out of the possible 9 on 8 healing potions. I mean, luckily I have them lying around a little bit, but at the same token, it's like, how bad does it have to be?
Serves you right.
Oh yeah, you've already done your action. But yeah, I think you're making the right call doing a Pathfinder 2 scenario rather than a Starfinder one.
Let us strike as one.
If I had more prepared and more time, I could have possibly run everybody through a Starfinder scenario, but I've literally got nothing prepared apart from Skitter Shot, which I'm not entirely sure. I opened it and it stressed me out immediately. Why? I don't find Starfinder stressful, but then again, I'm kind of used to running it. I've been running Starfinder continually now for probably about 2 years. I mean, it's the only system that I run for, because that's one of the things. It's one thing to run a system, and another thing to play it. Just don't remember the rules. The thing is, for me, they're fairly similar to D&D 5th edition, which I appreciate. I don't think you're a fan of. Yeah. Just reading. I had so many plans for getting ahead with prep. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I like fantasy grounds, is because I run modules and I pay fantasy grounds to do the prep work for me. Well, that was terribly, terribly painful. Are you going to heal them as well? No, you're not? Maybe? Oh no, you did heal them. Congratulations. You just negated some of the stuff that we just did. Right, dog, go get in there. So yeah, because one of the things is, because you're paying somebody else to prep it, it's all like if I decided to do a off-the-cuff scenario session rather than one of the adventure paths that I'm running, it's all like go into the store, buy it, and ta-da, that's the prep work done and dusted. The thing is, I've also found that it makes me incredibly lazy in terms of, I'm not, when it's pen and paper, I know that I need to read through the stuff. There's not going to be a magic button I can press to. I'm too worried about how I do my prep and that. It just end up being... How is prepping... How do you prep that's weird? I'm curious now. And don't worry, I'm not entirely sure if there's anybody else here, so it's just between you and me until somebody basically rewrite everything in the entire book. See, I'm tempted to disagree. That's not a weird way, and that's actually probably a slightly better way of doing it, because one of the things that, when I'm prepping for a tabletop, we're just going to leave the game there for the moment because I can't concentrate on two things. When I'm prepping for tabletop, especially with Starfinder and potentially Pathfinder if I got into it, because there are so many universal rules, and because there are so many factors about, if a party doesn't have quite the right makeup, or if the party has... if everybody's running around with laser pistols and this thing is vulnerable to fire damage, it's just going to crumble like a deck of cards. So some things need tweaking, and all these universal rules need remembering. So I'll basically just start typing out the stat blocks of all the monsters, and where they've got a special ability that's referenced from the universal creature rules, I'll go to that universal creature rule and then I'll type in that little block as well. If there's a calculated DC, I'll calculate that out. And, when it comes to the flavor text of you enter the room and here's a thing that happens, I will try to sort of rewrite it justified based on, because one of the things that annoys a lot of my players as well as me is the fact that occasionally what will happen is you'll go in through a door, and going in through that door is described, or that door is described in the layout of the room. So the players enter from the south, and it's like, this room has 3 exits. Heavy steel doors to the east and the west, and a flimsy looking door to the south, and it's all like, why are you describing the door that they've literally just entered through? Because they know that it's a flimsy wooden door, they've literally just opened it. So I'll try to trim that out and put in side notes to say, yeah, the south door is flimsy, the two doors to the east and west are heavy steel. You know, if there's because one of the things that Paizo likes to do is at the start of every dungeon map, whether it's a dungeon or not, it's a dungeon map, it'll give you common attributes about the room. Which is all fine and well because it's all, when you're prepping, because it's all, yeah, the ceilings are 20 foot high, everything is brightly lit, and, you know, all the doors are open apart from where otherwise marked. And then you'll come to the description of the room, and you'll read out the description of the room, great stuff. And then one of the characters will go to a door, and it's all like, was that locked? I can't quite remember. And then you're not sure whether it's in the general description of the dungeon, because sometimes they put it there, or whether it's somewhere in the mess of text that is, you know, the details for the GM about the room. You know, an investigation check to find such and such, and a, you know, if they want to open this locked filing cabinet, it's a DC 15 engineering. If they want to open this door, it's a DC 25 engineering, and it's like, oh, there's the engineering. So I'll put that nearer to the description. And just by doing all of this prep work, I feel when I'm actually at the game, you know, I print everything out onto separate sheets. I end up getting in a terrible mess because I'll just, you know, I'll take the adventure path and it'll be sort of like 3 pages of a dungeon where they've got 2 different encounters. And it'll become 10 pages of a dungeon as each room is on its own little sheet. There'll be a handout for anything that needs handing out, and then the monster stats will go over. You know, it won't be just a sort of like a couple of inches stat block. It'll be an entire page per monster, because, you know, it's a swarm and there is multiple rules and just pages and pages. Yeah, adding more flavor is another thing that I like to do. I tend to do that more for... See, I have a bad habit of over-prepping, if you can't guess by what I'm saying, where I will just sort of like detail absolutely everything in the room, and then the players come along and it's all like, we want to investigate this chest of drawers that you mentioned. And it's like, there's nothing in there. Why are you investigating that thing of all things? And it's like, oh, it just seems really detailed. And it's like, it's only detailed because I kind of put it into the flavor and thought it'd be kind of cool, but yeah, now I see where I've gone wrong. Yeah, with NPCs, I tend to struggle. It's just one of the things.
Nowhere to run. No strike wasted.
He does more than both of us by about 100%. Yeah. See, one of the things that aggravates me about over prep is sometimes I'll, you know, when I first started GMing in D&D 5th edition, it was so like I'd over prep like crazy, and would be... I'm just flogging at dead corpses here because I don't have that much acid damage to get out. Come on, Octavia, start doing the... Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh, no, that one got up and got knocked back down again.
This will hurt.
Just stab it a few more times. Minus 100 now or something. Back round to Octavia. I would throw a acid vial, but it's likely to hit the supposed eyeliner. And I'd prep a room, and the players would go in it, and they'd take a quick squint. They'd miss something, and I wouldn't know how to, so like, bring it back round to that without, you know, being so like, just check underneath the rug. Why are you not doing it? It is so obvious. When you mentioned coming into the room, I said that it looked recently disturbed. And I would get aggravated at the players because they're not doing the thing that, to me, the GM who's over-prepped it has put a lot of effort into.
Consider me provoked.
And I found myself disliking my players more and more the more I put effort into telling them that, you know, this is all the details of the room. There's still one alive. So I've kind of found my happy medium when it comes to prep. I'm not tremendously good at NPCs, so I'll kind of have an idea of what they want to say, but... Well, Half-Orc, today you helped the Cat. The Cat does not forget those who help her. We shall meet again, perhaps. Who knows? Yeah, that's the other thing. It's all like... if you get too used to, or I found, you know, I'm not speaking for everybody who's ever prepped a D&D game here, and I'm not criticizing anybody for how they prep, because I found that a lot of the time it has to be a bit of personal style, because I've, I want to say intimidated, but it's not, intimated, no, that's personal, imitated other GMs' styles, where it's like they go through and they make sure that everybody has their own little personality, and I prep this up and I prep that up, and
Need to catch my breath.
it's all fine and well for them, but it aggravates me, and then I'll get flustered in the moment because the players have asked a question that I didn't prep for, or you know, there's an NPC in the back of the room and they walk up to them and talk to him, and it's like, oh, this guy's just a guard, you're not really supposed to be talking to him, and, you know, that flusters me. So I tend to just... I play it very loose. Oh, hello. What's going on here then? Ennio, the travelling merchant. Ennio, a half-elf merchant who recently appeared in the capital, falls to the floor in front of you. Thal stands beside him, looking quite unlike her normal self, usually cold and stiff. The face of the undead now burns with rage, despite his nearness to his furious undead captor. Ennio looks concerned, but unafraid. If you allow me to speak, I'll explain everything. I hope you can, Half-Blood, otherwise... Have I told you the sad story of my death? It is sad most of all because I do not remember how my life ended. I wandered exhausted through the wastelands beyond the borders of Cronin until I could barely see my path. I stopped to rest, or perhaps I lost consciousness. When I came to my senses, I heard the call of my goddess, returning me from the dead. Was it poison? Magic, illness, whatever stole my life away, it left no trace. I thought this mystery would haunt me forever, but then I entered the shop of this half-blooded, seeking some reminder of Cronin, and what did I discover there? My very own dagger. Jafal shows an elven-crafted dagger with a chipped blade and empty sockets where once gemstones adored the handle. This dagger had disappeared the same night I was taken by death. How could this half-blood have obtained it? Let him speak, Let him speak, Bob. Anger will not help us learn the truth. That is why, respecting your authority, I bought this pathetic husker here, rather than getting the truth out of him by my own methods. The half-elf rises to his feet and sighs, putting his clothes in order. Thank you for allowing me to speak, Your Grace. The story is not very exciting, certainly not as exciting as the tale of the drunken regatta within the eye of Abigendo. Yesterday, north of the city, I stumbled upon a dead boar. There was no one around, but the dagger was protruding from the miserable beast's neck. I don't know why the owner would have left it in the carcass. Perhaps the beast escaped from the hunter, taking along the weapon that had injured it. So I inadvertently decided to keep it, and keep the item I'd found, thanking my luck and never suspecting the price I'd have to pay. Where exactly did you find this carcass and dagger? In the vicinity of the old sycamore. Of course, I'm sure you know where that tree grows. I found the boar to the west of the sycamore, in the direction of the Thorn River. Ah, ba 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 ba. Gentile, listen, Treason. If Enio was involved in your death, would he openly? He wouldn't be openly offering your dagger for sale? Perhaps this is logical. This one would have been a useless fool to do such a thing, and useless fools do not easily survive a road. Still, his story should be verified. It must be, and in any case, the dagger may be a lead to my killer. You face serious accusations. Are you sure that you can say nothing more in your defense? I would be glad if I could, but alas, the dead boar is my only witness. I do believe in your justice, Baron. I have faith that you will investigate my story and sort everything out. We will investigate this matter further. Let's start by checking Eno's story and seek out this unfortunate boar. I am grateful. It is important to me, and you, Half-Blood, should pray for our success. If you are lying, I shall find a surer way to get the truth from you. Please don't threaten all the merchants. But yeah, back to what we were talking about. So yeah, having personalities for just about everybody present is all fine and well, but that'd aggravate me. So I kind of try and go for this happy medium where I have an idea in my head about the main players who populate the scene. And I know roughly where everybody is, and potentially, just in case somebody asks questions, what everybody is at least reasonably called, and, a couple of personalities that I can pull out and throw away. A guard is all like, look, I'm just here to do my job. If you want anything answering, just speak to the commander over there. I mean, he's waiting for you. I'm just the guy who guards the door. And then if they press him, he'll get more aggravated. They'll roll a diplomacy, and depending on how that roll goes, it might just be like, look, I'm not paid enough to deal with this. Go speak to him. I've not got another word to say to you. And it's just little things like that I have kind of prepped, and that way I don't get as floundered when I've prepped everything, or thought that I've prepped everything, and then somebody asks a daft question I ask the person walking down the street next if they know anything about it. And it's like, oh, what would they know about it? And it's like, oh, well, maybe they know something, blah, blah, blah. And I start discussing that with myself if I've over-prepped. If I've not prepped at all, it's like, you want to ask this random person off the street if they know anything. Sure, give me a charisma gather knowledge check. Yeah, you just asked a bunch of random people. It's like walking around town and asking if anybody's seen your wallet when you've lost it. Nobody's going to admit to that, even if they do know what you're on about. Some half-elf trading fabric in the capital discovered a loophole in the law. Nope. Tristan is busy. Hands of gold. Ooh, 3 people could do it, but if 3 people are busy. And what's everybody else doing? Ooh, 1 day for... I've forgotten your name. Jod. Which is kind of... Well, I kind of wanted to go to sleep. So yeah, I've come up with a happy medium for myself. But it's a lot different when I'm playing at my computer. Because I've got Fantasy Grounds and everything's all preloaded. You know, I'll read the adventure path before running the game up to where I think they'll be getting up to. And then, you know, hey Susan, how's it going? And then when it comes to the game, I've not really got anything prepared because I read about this monster and he's got this wonderful weird stat and it's all like, I have no idea what that actually means. I'll have to look it up when I get out of the bath. And then I get out of the bath and forget all about it until it's showtime. And then they'll be fighting this monster and it's like, yes, it does have this swallow hole ability. How does that work again? It swallows your whole. Ta-da! The number of times that I have fluffed rolls. Right, research into the nature of the curses Bald Hilltop or curses David Nettle. Wasn't there other one that you could do? Trade taxes, Hands of Gold. Oh no, Gerard isn't in that one. Out of all the advisors there. Emily, Tristan, and then back around again. So, how long is this one going to take? Because we can... Oh, insufficient BP for that one, and 50 BP for that one. Cost Divine goes up. We're only rank 1 so far. Do kind of wish I'd be able to get that up a little bit somehow. It was a close call last week. Oh, yeah, me getting swallowed whole. Yeah, I knew exactly what was going on there. No, this is another player. In my game, I had a creature that swallowed a person whole. I kind of screwed it up. But luckily, they had finger wiggly magic, and it was just like, I am in its stomach. And it's like, yep. And it's like, how do I cast a spell in Starfinder? Well, it's kind of vague. What do you want to do? It's like, oh, I want to open a tear in reality and just basically appear about 50 feet in that direction. So like, go for it. And it's like, so they burnt a spell slot getting out of the stomach of the thing. I didn't have to feel bad for doing damage to them too early because I screwed up the rules. Jod, 50 BP, that's kind of expensive. 5 Divine. But Divine is going to go up. How long is this? 45 days. What's the other one? 60 days. Oy. Jod, you're just continually working on long things. But yeah, I think to a certain degree, one of the other things that really affects how much I'm prepping is a little bit of how much I'm mentally prepped for running the adventure path. Back in the day, back in the first campaign that I ever GM'd for, it was Prince of the Apocalypse for D&D 5th edition, and I don't think it would be too bad if you had players who were more interested in the role-playing side of things. And potentially if... Oh, why is Dog listed as a character? He doesn't have an inventory. Inventory. But if you don't have players who are interested in roleplay, then it is just an entire book on words have just escaped me. It's a massive dungeon crawl. It's something like a 50-page dungeon crawl. And so like about halfway through that book, I was just like, these players aren't for the role-playing aspect. They're never going to leave this dungeon ever again. And I am so tired of just continually, basically, it turned up to a session and it's like, alright, where did we leave off last week? Oh yeah, you were in this room. Okay, you've got 2 exits, this way and this way. Which way do you want to go? Oh, you go through that door, read out the description of the room, and roll for initiative, because there's more stuff in here. Any other story? Couple of pendants. And some knickknacks that he's not going to tell me anything about until I collect them all. One of them go find a merchant. So yeah, towards the end of that campaign, I was just like, I want this over and done with, because they're just going from room to room murdering things. I'm literally the only... If it's not combat, the only time that they're asking me anything is like, which rooms or which doorways have we not been through yet? And it's well, you got the one in this room that leads further that way, but you've also missed, 2 doors back going that way. They had no interest in diplomacy when it was a potential that it came up. And by the end of it, I was just so exhausted and really not feeling it. So, for the most part, if I screwed up a rule in the player's favor and the monster died way before it should have, it was like, oh well, that's not really... was your all theatre of the mind? No, it wasn't theatre of the mind. Most of it was... The thing is, these were mega dungeons to a certain extent. So, for the most part, it would never have fit on a... even my largest battle map. Before I started using the Paizo flip maps, which fold up, I had this massive battle... I've forgotten the name of the company. Battle chess? A vinyl rolled up, biggest thing that you ever did see, and I'm waving my arms out and saying, it was this big, and it's like, nobody can see me yet. I'm thinking of getting a video camera at some point. What's everybody's opinions on me getting a video camera, and you just all seen my mug somewhere on this? Mention in the chat. Okay, that's a 1 vote for sure. The thing is, what annoys me about it is, I know a few streamers, and those that I've talked to about their video cameras, it's like, oh yeah, you want to get the C922. And it's like, alright, it's by Logitech, and it's like, it costs less than $100. You look around online anywhere over here in the UK, and you cannot pick it up for less than 150 quid. 140 quid if you're willing to go eBay and secondhand, and I'm not entirely sure. I'm a little bit gullible. I tend to believe things. I know that I'm gullible, so I didn't tend to dwell on it and think that sounds too good to be true. So, if I went on eBay and I saw a C922 for 100 quid, I'd be like, There's nothing wrong with this. I can't see what they're describing that's wrong with it. But on the same token, I know that I wouldn't really see it for this much, so I just don't go on eBay. I mean, I'm not too really fussed. You can all, to a certain degree, I'd rather have it that you could actually see me, because then when I'm on pause like this, I won't feel so silly, because you're just staring at the screen where it's got the character's inventory up, and instead you could actually look at a little picture of me, and I'm indicating towards the camera what I'm talking about. So, and we occasionally use our laptop web cameras in work. The only thing is, the laptops where I work, they're all encrypted, and there's no way of me easily sticking the two together and allowing it to grab the picture and then feed it into my computer. I don't really want to go trying to wire the two together, because if I break the works laptop, they're going to be asking me what I did with it, and it's like, well, I was trying to do something I shouldn't have been doing. Not going to look good. There's one other thing that I've been thinking about that you might all be interested to hear. I install Steam and Pathfinder Kingmaker on your works laptop. Yeah, not going to do that either. Mainly because I don't think the graphics cards in my work laptop are going to be quite up to scratch. And then it'd be running OBS on the top of that. I mean, I'm a developer, so it's a dev spec laptop, so it's not actually too bad, but there's just no graphics card in there. That's what I wanted to do. Copy that recipe. So yeah, the other thing that I want to do is I want to get my follower count up so that I can get affiliated. And to do that, I need 50 followers. Haha, I can't even install a widget app on mine. Cool, thanks, Sally. I'll check that out later. So yeah, follower count, getting that up to 50. I am going to try bribery. I mean, giveaway. A giveaway. I shouldn't call it a bribe. So when I get up to 50 followers, I am going to have a giveaway here on stream. Once I figure out how to do that, of course, but first things first, I got to get up to 50 followers. Now, I'm not sure what to give away. I'm thinking about a £10 gift card on Steam. But what do you all think to that? Because maybe some of you don't have Steam. No, British Bumbershoot, I have not. Well, I mean, if I could find two and get away with giving one away, I'd be tempted, but no. That'd be a hell of an expensive giveaway, and seeing as though this channel isn't actually making me any money, I don't really want to give, too much money away. Just at this stage. So yeah, £10 gift card on Steam, sorry. Potentially negotiable, just in case anybody here is listening and is more of a fan of Paizo and tabletop role-playing games and you've got nothing to do with Steam, then potentially I'll give you a $10 gift card for Paizo. And that way you can choose which one you want. And it costs me roughly the same amount of money. So use that as an incentive to tell your friends to come join my stream, reminding them that there will be a giveaway, or tell your enemies. I'll take them. I really don't care. They can hang out in my chat as long as they're not abusive. Then I can deal with them, probably. If not, I'll block them and my follow account will go down. But hey, it's a risk that I'm willing to take. And to a certain degree, it's just to get the followers up to 50. So if you know that it's a friend who probably is never actually going to watch my stream again, I don't care. They'll just come, they'll give me a follow, and then they'll walk off into the ether, and I'll still have my numbers going up. It's just, for the last month or so, my number has been just consistently 17. And zero growth, the last I checked, is not a good thing when you're just starting these things off, so... At some point, I also need to figure out how I'm supposed to do graphics and whatnot on this thing. And maybe have a little bar somewhere with the follow account. Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing that I'm going for at the moment, is consistency and trying to make sure that I'm consistent. And also, to a certain degree, I'm not too fussed about rapid follower growth. Because I'd prefer to have followers who actually want something to do with my stream rather than, because I saw on Twitter earlier, because, I have a Twitter account for my Cairo and Rustmore handle, just because I don't want all of those shout-outs that I'm streaming polluting my actual Twitter feed. And... I'll follow people who follow me, and I'm pretty much treating it as a junk account, but it's the official account of, it's curious, my Cairo and Rustmore. But as such, I'm getting a lot of people who are following me, and I'm following other people who are streamers. Are you the one with the bag of holding? How much money do I have? I am short by a little bit. So annoying. I'm barter for it. Use your cunning charm. No, okay, great stuff. And yeah, on this stream, I don't know who it is, and I'm not going to call them out even if I did remember who it is. But they had 350 followers. Doesn't sound too bad. Doesn't sound too bad at all until you also realize that they had a 2.8 average viewer count per stream. And it's so basically you got 350 followers and not one of them, or maybe two of them, consistently turn up and watch every moment that you're streaming. I've got about higher. I think mine averages out at about 4 viewers per hour for every hour that I'm streaming, and I've only got like 17 followers. So I'm quite happy with the followers I have. I do actually have 7 viewers. 7 viewers. I know one of them is a bit of an oddball. It's actually a automated account who basically stalks everybody online. And he's just running it as a statistics account. And if you go to their page, you can actually view all the statistics that they've gathered up. And it just changes the screen every now and again. Kind of interesting. They're not actually watching the screen, it is just a bot, but it's all like, well, you're not, Dubry, what's it? You're not causing me any trouble and you're keeping my viewer count up, so, but yeah, Twitch is also very pedantic. It basically measures every 5 minutes what your viewer count is and calculates out the average for that. So it really does help when you all turn up on time. Just joking. I appreciate that the time, you have lives. And there is the catch-up. What am I doing? The old sycamore. That's where I wanted to go for this investigation. Do I want to go there? There's lots of other things. Oh, Ekon's Leads. We should start searching for the troll lair. The ranger offered some leads. The Kobold Trail and the Troll Clearing. And the Dwarven Ruins, that's where I was supposed to take Harem. Okay, how am I supposed to get to that one? I'll try going there, see what happens. Everybody's fit and healthy. Anne-Marie is back in my squad. Linz is taking a bench for now, and Tristane is also back. But yeah, what's actually kind of annoying is I can see that my viewer count is 7 at the moment, but there's a tool that allows me to see who's in at the moment. See, Murder Sauce is around, I just noticed that. I spent much time on the Kingdom Growth and Management and not on the main events, and I'm facing some really nasty goblins. Might not be able to succeed. See, Murder Sauce is actually playing this game semi-in parallel with me. I've been talking to him on and off about a few other things as well, but, you know, sort of like, he's been playing this game. I kind of inspired him to play it, and he's playing it, and at the same token, it's all like, we're both he's getting confused as to whether he's seen it on my stream or whether he's seen it in his game. So that's quite enjoyable for me. Right. We no longer have a cook. I could do the cooking. But then, do we have anybody for camp camouflage? We do not. But rather than trying to camouflage the camp, how about we just give it some more watches? And let us make onion soup, because that is a thing that we can now make. Are these camp roles part of Pathfinder Pass? I've not come across them. The thing is, if they are, then I feel that it'd be essentially the downtime part of Starfinder. Although the downtime in Starfinder tends to be sort of like every 24 hours rather than making camp. But I've not actually paid.
Keep your distance and don't get close to anyone. This keeps your soul's wounds from healing. Forgive yourself and sit at the fire with the rest of us.
Attachment is dangerous. I could not endure further losses.
Okay, I spoilt the onion soup because I'm a great cook. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things that I do like. You know, this is one of the things I really like about Paizo in general, is that they do tend to have a lot of these things. So it wouldn't surprise me if, because right, if you go away and look up Pathfinder, all you really need to start playing Pathfinder is the core rulebook. But they came out with the Ultimate books. Now, the Ultimate book, they came out with the Adventure Paths, and that added little tidbits in here and there. And they came out with sort of like the Advanced Player's Guide and the Unchained Guide, which revamps some of the classes. And they came out with the Occultist Guide, but they're aimed for the players. Then you've got the lore books, which tend to be sort of like the Guide to Galorian, the Inner Seas, and then different regions. The Moangi Expanse is one that I know off the top of the head because of one of the other players in my group, and I can't think of any of others off the top of my head, but they did it sometimes in very great detail on a single sort of like town or city. But what they also came out with is the Ultimate series. Now, these Ultimate series was mainly aimed at the GMs. And there's like the Book of Ultimate Intrigue, the Book of Ultimate campaigns. The book of Ultimate Game Mastery. And I think they were called the Ultimate Series, but I do recall sort of like Ultimate Intrigue and Ultimate Campaign were, and basically they broke down, you know, like in the DMG for 5th edition, there's lots of little bits in there that you could do, but no actual mechanical rules, or what mechanical rules are there are very light. They came out with entire books on sort of like how to make an entire intrigue campaign, and here is examples of rules and roles that you can make. You know, what NPCs are likely to be doing. Here's how you plan out, you know, a murder mystery or political parties, or, you know, if you've got numerous NPCs with agendas, you want to keep notes on what each one of them doing, set yourself up a little calendar and sort of like check off when each group of NPCs is going to achieve a target towards their ultimate goal. And then, rather than trying to make it up on the spot when you say, oh, the players arrive at this dungeon, you can be saying, like, the players arrived at this dungeon too late and one of their oppositions has already been here, cleared out the place, and now they're just looking for clues. And it will give you ideas of what clues they left behind, potentially. Likewise, you know, it's like if they arrive first, you want to plan it just like a normal dungeon run. But then, you know, it's all like, how does that impact on their overall planning? Because you actually have their overall plan planned out. And this is one of the things about, you know, this whole camping thing. It would not surprise me if it is in one of their books somewhere, just giving you lots of details on how to make a campaign where, you know, the downtime tasks are a little better than sort of like, yep, who's taking first watch? Make a perception check, ba-boom, nothing happens. Make another perception check, ba-boom, nothing happens. Make another perception check. Yeah, you didn't do too well, so you're a bit surprised when 3 wolves come out of the bushes and just ambush you. You know, I do like the whole cooking element where it gives you these daily boons for the next day or the first roll of the next day. But remind me, fly free or die in a bit. I'm going to actually play some of this game that everybody is currently watching. The hills seem pleasant, even welcoming. No grey doom and gloom, just walking along the path and enjoying the view of all the cute little white pyramids built out of pebble stones. Oh wait, was it pebble stones? Horror of horrors! What I mistook for pebbles were polished bones. Along the path, the grass was riddled with pyramids of polished kobold remains. It got us thinking. Is it wise to follow such a grim path, the way marked by death itself? Remind me about that British Bumble. Not just Fly Free or Die, but Pathfinder 1st Edition. We defy all danger and follow the path because we are heroes. As opposed to Fly Free or Die, where we're no heroes. Trying to brush away thoughts on who may have polished the kobold vertebrae and why, we move quickly along the path leading to the Pale Hills. It didn't take long for us to reach a mountain river with the bridge crossing over it. Well, bridge might be a bit generous. It was actually just a long branch, about as thick as an arm, spanning from one bank to the other. It may have been enough for a kobold to cross, since we could see another of those small bone pyramids on the far side, but it didn't look nearly strong enough for our party to cross. Before deciding to proceed, we carefully examined the river. We quickly discovered that the river was quite deep. I plunged my arm in shoulder deep into the water and couldn't even feel the bed. It was fast too. The current pulled a dry leaf off my sleeve and it was gone from my sight in a blink. And it was cold, so very cold. Frankly, none of us were interested in taking a swim. We carefully examined the branch that would help us cross the river. The branch did have one thing going for it, though. Being so thick, it happened to be quite sturdy, but that didn't make the flimsy crossing any less slippery or challenging to anyone daring to step foot on it. I wonder how many kobolds had slipped on the wet bark and found a watery grave in the ice-cold river. Precautions were definitely in order. We readied a rope to ensure the daredevil's safety. Foresight has always been amongst our esteemed Baron's strongest virtues. I have a strong virtue. With the practiced motions of a seasoned adventurer, he pulled a length of rope out of his pack and prepared it to be tied around the waist of whoever would prove brave enough to step on the branch and attempt to cross the river. That would at least help reduce the risk of drowning. Choose a character. We tried to walk over and choose a volunteer to... We talked it over and chose a volunteer to try and cross the river. Shoot. All signs point to me. Not sure if I like this. Chiron was unperturbed by the thin branch and the speeding current. After a deep breath, our volunteer set forth along the precarious crossing. One step, then another. A few feet crossed with no trouble, and I started to think that maybe things would be fine. Then the branch jerked and started to shake, and it was rolling over. In no time to think, all Chiron could do was flail his arms about wildly, trying to regain his balance. Now I'm going to jump to the other side. However lengths we'll go to in our efforts to keep our pride untarnished and our pants dry. With one incredible jump, and Chiron was on the other bank. Chiron took a moment to catch his breath and turned his attention back to the crossing. As soon as the rope was securely fixed on both banks, the branch didn't seem as much as a death trap as it had before. Losing no more time, we crossed the river. Oh wow, there's more to this. I was kind of expecting that to be it. One small pyramid made of polished kobold bones may be a bit spooky, but it's not unbearable. But how about thousands? We found ourselves looking over a proper kobold graveyard, each little pyramid a mark of kobold death, and that mark made out of their own remains. Yeesh. The real enigma, though, waited in the heart of the burial ground. The centerpiece was made of hundreds, perhaps even thousands of polished bones, all put together to form an enormous head of a dragon. Imagine that. These small, nonsical reptiles somehow managed to create a sculpture both fearsome and magnificent. Such might and yet such fragility. Fragility as well. If a single bone were to be removed from the foundation, this beautiful statue would crumble to dust, and I even spotted one such flimsy bone. Regardless, we come face to face with irrefutable proof. The kobolds, for better or worse, were changing. This news had no impact on our search for trolls, though. The land was clearly sacred to the kobolds, and it seemed unlikely they would bring their new friends here. But how would the Baron deal with the structure we found in this realm? I mean, I'm just gonna leave it. The kobolds aren't really that bad. I mean, they might be changing, but I mean, bone art is kind of gruesome. I'm not gonna disagree there. But at the same token, you know, everybody's got to have a medium. So if the kobolds want to use their own bones, fine, fair by me. The Baron deemed it proper to respect the kobold shrine. Following my advice, the Baron adjusted the dangerously loose bone in the hopes of reinforcing the remarkable composition. His Grace was standing to leave when a glint from the dragon's jaw drew his attention. Carefully reaching inside, the Baron pulled out what seemed to be a dirty stone. Beneath an outer layer of clay, we found a large, finely cut emerald. It seemed the kobold spirits decided to grant as a gift. Sorry, what? Where does that suggest that it was a gift? Basically, they are hiding a gem encrusted in clay inside their precious statue. I saw a tiny bit of a glint and decided to take it. None of that suggested that it was a gift. Stowing the offering in his bag, the Baron turned and left. We dutifully followed our leader, and soon the bizarre kobold burial ground was far behind us. And all I got out of it was this lousy rock. I mean, I say lousy rock. 500 gold rock. Which will go some way to helping me get my a bone church. Is that a church made of bones, or what are we talking about here? 1, 2, 3. There's Tristan. You're a high dex kind of person. Where this? Why did your dex only go up by 1? No, you're not wearing armor. Oh, you have that thing about you, don't you? So if you wear that, and I can't do it from here, I'm pretty sure I can change that from Dex to something else. I mean, like I say, I personally have no trouble with whatever medium people want to use, as long as it's within the realms of I want to say decency. Yeah, I'll go with decency, because while I suppose some people might decide that bones aren't decent, I want to reorder this party. I hate the fact that the wolf isn't in this list when he's... Yeah, that's the order I want. I'd like the wolf further up. Can I move you further up? No. Okay, and you will... Abilities. Constitution or strength. It goes
Ready and willing.
up by 1 point. Can I do Constitution and do anything for that? I can't do anything for that, but it will go up eventually another point. I'm thinking of her taking her straight down the wizard line from here on out. There's some immaculate ones in the Czech Republic too. I'm guessing we're still talking about bone churches. And another natural one from the dock. Luckily, they don't seem to be hitting very well either. Let's get that out of the way.
Let's try
Go
this
stab
way.
that one because you'll get a bit of a bonus. Nice. Octavia. Can we acid splash one of the guys further back? Nope, that one. So as far back as we can go. Badoosh. Now three of them get a turn. Poor little kobolds, they're so wee. I mean, if they didn't attack me, it wouldn't be so bad for them. But they do choose to attack me. Welcome back, Amory. I've not left you anybody that you can charge at. So just crawl up there. And Tristan crossbow. Wolf. Who did they try to hit? And
This
dog's
should
AC
do it.
is high. Thank God I hit on at least one of those. Right, who are you? You are that one.
This is for you!
See if we can't kill you. Nope, we can't. Ha! Right, move up a little to hit the guy at the back. Because if it goes round to another round, he'll be able to potentially do more of them. How many can you charge? Yes, you can. Oof. I don't like the way that they making the enemy so adorable. Your players hate having to kill them. GM goals. See, you kind of run the risk there, because if you make them too adorable, when they invariably die because of, you know, the chance that the players do decide to look after them, you just end up with a bunch of players who are upset that you are a monster and let their creature pet die. And that's just not pleasant. Right, so let's carry on. Oh, wait. Oh no, we have done all those. Alright, onwards. I have trouble with that jamming, and so glad my current party has no animal companions. See, I don't mind animal companions, and familiars are the best, because familiars can just be well, I don't know actually about Pathfinder. I know that some older versions of D&D had really vicious rules when it came to familiars. Such as one of them where it's like, if a familiar dies, the mage who summoned them loses permanently, no ifs, buts or maybes, permanently 1 point of constitution. Ergo, it was a terrible, terrible thing to have a familiar as a low-level mage. Or even a high-level mage, because eventually you would be running out of points of constitution if they got summoned and just so happened to be in the area of a fireball. Wizards are not known for their constitution. But in D&D 5th edition, for me, I've already been there. Why am I... okay, I'm going to ignore that, because I've already been to the Cobalt Trail. Oh, I don't know where this location is. Of course I don't. It's down this road. Somewhere. Hopefully. Ooh, Monster Den. I wonder what lives there. Probably monsters. Yeah, in 5th edition, basically the familiar is dead. And, 10 gold later, they can get it back to life, no harm done. And one of the things, I used to be an eventually GM, and one of the things is you're not really supposed to kill the party. Or you're supposed to try and keep the party alive, because that's just fun D&D. I don't quite agree with that, but at the same token, it's like, I have seen some people get into a right sulk about it when their oh so precious snowflake of a character dies. So when you're having to do this week in, week out, and you just really want to kill something, yeah, there has to be that risk, and for me, it has to be proper. And what actually used to annoy me is I am a very happy, or I can be a very happy-go-lucky player. Because at the end of the day, if there's no risk, there's no reward. And one of the seasons, Tales of the Yawning Portal in D&D, it was their infamous Death Trap dungeons. So every player around every table, every group that I was playing in, because I played that season, it was like we go to the door, we check it for traps, and everybody would roll for checking for traps, and nobody would get a good roll, so everybody thought like, well, I don't really want to go through this door because, we suspect that it's trapped, but we can't find the trap in it, and so like, alright, everybody just stand back up, I'll open the door, I've checked for traps, it's not trapped. Are you really all that paranoid? And I just fling open the doors eventually. And that didn't really bite me in the ass, but there was this one thing, sort of like down a corridor, that kind of made me curious as to what the hell it was. And it creeped out some of the other players, and it's like, I'm gonna go, I just have to know what this is. I'm a gnome, I'm curious. I just have to know what this is. So I crept up to the corner and just got massacred by these fireworms. And they dragged me into their lair. The rest of the players were all bumbling around what to do, as I'm just getting beaten down. And I'm there making death saving throws, and I don't die by the death saving throws, I manage to stabilize. But to me, it's like, okay, these fireworms have not seen anybody else in my party. Because they were all too busy hiding around the corner. They've not come for them. So shouldn't these fireworms just be eating me now that they've captured me? And therefore I die because, death saving throws are automatically fails when you're getting eaten. But no, the GM didn't want to kill anybody, so he basically had it that I was just unconscious. And then eventually the party got their wits about them and came running around the corner, mopped up, somebody healed me, and we continued on our adventure. And I wasn't too annoyed, because at the end of the day it was like, it's a long casting time of familiar in 5e, which means it's at least a day till you get your pet back. I thought it was like a 10-minute ritual for find familiar. I'm just going to check my player's handbook here. Find familiar F. Oh no, it's a 1 hour casting ritual. He's got a 1 hour casting time, sorry. So yeah, it'd be about once a day. And there was other times, me as a player, the gnome was curious, he got himself killed or knocked out, and then the fireworms weren't eating him because they were saving him for later. The party came in and rescued me. And there was other times where it's like, I got myself petrified by a gorgon, quite by accident, and the GM was so mortified that he'd sort of like killed this character, and it was just like, chill out, don't worry about it. My guy had just as much chance. I mean, it was me rolling dice, so he didn't really stand a chance, and it was against Constitution saving throws, which wasn't the greatest for me, but it was so I had 3 rolls of a dice, failed all 3 of them, got turned to stone. These things happen, but no, he was so mortified. But when I was GMing, it was like you were so desperate to kill anything because you weren't supposed to target the players. Would just go after familiars, would go after mounts, would go after any kind of pet that was easily replaceable because it was a guilt-free kill. The guy in charge never said anything about pets or familiars. Those were disposable, so you could kill them off all you wanted. You ride out to the cave, you leave your horses tied up outside, you go into the cave, you do the dungeon, you come back outside and just find horse carcasses everywhere because a bear had got them and you said you tied them up. Great stuff, horrify players, but don't actually touch their characters, so the guy in charge couldn't go, well, you shouldn't have done that. I mean, he might tell you shouldn't have done that if you describe too horrifically the scene of dead horses. But there was enough GMs and enough players that it's like, well, if they don't like me, they can sit at somebody else's table next time. Back to the game, shall we? This small glade shows signs of brutal troll feasts. It was littered with gnawed moans, the ground was furrowed with marks of huge feet, the trees held gouges from sharp claws, and branches had been adorned with skulls of humans and animals, both old and new. Unfortunately, the trolls' tracks vanished outside the glade, but we could tell that the trolls used this place often. Ekon's usually expressionless face turned into disgust grimace. You could see the pain he felt as he looked upon the remains of a troll's victims. Finally, looking ahead, he said, "They'll come back. We need an ambush." Having prepared our ambush, we waited. The trolls were really taking their time. The sun rose higher and higher, but we heard nothing from the woods but the bird song and buzzing of insects. Ekon froze, keeping his bow at the ready as he gazed into the woods. His eyes would focus every now and again on the remains hanging from the trees. His expression was one of strong determination. He would wait for the trolls, and he would kill them all. The fruitless waiting began to tire us out. Amory killed time sharpening an already razor-sharp blade. Octavia looked around impatiently, tugging on her long hair occasionally. She was clearly bored out of her mind. We continued waiting. As the sun set, the glade was still empty. Darkness spread across the scraps of the troll's feast, and the grass began to fill with the dim light of fireflies. Ekon flexed his muscles, tired of the long, motionless wait. "I could be wrong," he said regretfully. "We may be waiting in vain." Having caught a firefly, Octavia entertained herself by watching it crawl along her slim fingers. We continued waiting. "Thank you," the ranger said, with a nod. "That was cowardly of me. Torag teaches not to give up. We will wait, and we will get what we waited for." Ambushes take time. We continued waiting in the hope that the trolls would show themselves eventually. It was late at night. We listened to the sound of the forest, waiting for the roar of a troll at any moment. Instead, all we heard were the hooting of owls. Our muscles grew numb. Our eyelids grew heavy. "What's your problems, trolls?" Octavia yawned. "Are you coming or not?" We continued waiting. With little hope remaining, we decided to give the trolls one more chance to show up. The sky began to lighten. The hooting owls gave way to twittering morning birds. We rubbed our eyes as we looked around the glade yet again. Suddenly, a loud creaking sound came from the bushes. Alert now, we reached for our weapons, but instead of trolls, we saw jump into the glade was a huge deer. Arrows buzzed through the air, and the animal fell to the ground. It seems the ambush hadn't been complete waste, at least. Received 6 supplies of rations. Gained 63 experience. Well, that was a bit of a bum deal. Let's go to the monster den. Let's see what's here. Enter this location. Set a new recipe, I see. Succulent sausages. Let's note that down before I forget it. Nope, don't drop it.
All
Who
according
the hell
to
puts a
plan.
button that says drop? Collect. Copy. Oh, that reminds me, Octavia. Are there any of these spells that you need to learn? Why am I right-clicking on the ones with dull backgrounds? What's that? Fireball. So glad that it's cheap in Pathfinder to copy scrolls. I don't know whether it's actually cheap in the proper game, but I do know that in 5th edition it is terribly expensive. Octavia's spellbook should... It's actually got... She knows 4 3rd level spells, but she's not a 3rd level caster. I think for her next... I think I'm just going to leave her at 3 rogue. You know, she's got her finesse training, she's got danger sense, she's got sneak attack. Just gonna focus on wizard now. I feel that it'd be a bit of a waste. You've got 23 grand there right now, though. I do, 23, almost 24, and I have managed to find some junk. I say junk. I've lost my emerald, which is worth half a grand. But I do have some other stuff that could be sold. I mean, I've got a suit of armor that's rather expensive. Something else over there. Dread token. Potatoes. Butter, eggs, left out in the rain. It's terribly quiet here. No music whatsoever. Sweet syrup. Just gonna take some of that. Oh yeah, everybody's fatigued. Probably from sitting. Oh, hello. Ancient Wyvern. I mean, this is a terrible idea, seeing as though everybody's tired. But terrible ideas are my good ideas. Everybody's fully healed. We got plenty of spells, and this is an ambush.
A calculated risk.
And it beats us all in the initiative, but it doesn't matter until next round.
I'll fight if I have to.
So slow. So slow. Let's miss. Can you charge at all? No, you can't charge because you're tired, I think.
They go down!
I like the way that she can't even rage because she's got fatigue.
Repent!
Well, that wasn't very nice.
Do not falter.
And another natural one. You've got enough to write about 50 9th level spells in 5e. Have I? 50 gold per level. Yeah, close to 9th
Let
level.
yourself open.
Ooh, critical hit sneak attack. Nice. 41 points of damage.
You can't stop me.
I'm waiting for Lindsay to come up in the initiative and she's just not here. Oh, you're the one who got the wyvern poison.
Hey!
Tristan, how about a blast for everybody? God, you're so tired.
Ah!
Onward.
Could you stop hitting the squishy ones? I'll just
This
do the
will
full
hurt.
attack. And then move away. Spells, I have spells. Wonderful. Wonderful spells.
Yes.
That'll give me a chance to position everybody for the blast. Maybe even get a little bit of healing on Chiron, cause he's nearly died. The thing is, when's the last time that you actually saw a D&D character with, you know, in the region of 25,000 gold? And that's singular character, because don't forget, strictly speaking, this money should be shared out amongst all 6 of our players here, not just spent all on the wizard and copying spells. I mean, even so, that's still a fair few, you know, first level spells. But as we've seen with Pathfinder, there's a lot more than just spells that you can spend money on. I do kind of want to get that bag of holding, because hopefully it'll be useful. Right. do me the heal. I kind of want blindness. Searing light, prayer. Why didn't I do prayer? Yeah, let's do prayer as well. I should really do the heal, but I'm not gonna. Just yet. I'll get to the heal. Level 3. Let's go for this one to be converted into a heal for Chiron. See how badly we roll this one. Ooh, 37. Not bad, Tristan. Right, let's crawl a little bit further forward. Don't want to go too far forward. Oh,
Nowhere
the dragon's back. Murder it. It's prone. Murder it. Bum bum bum. Let us try a blindness on the wyvern. Yeah, I did realize as well that I'm actually kind of in a really nice cone shape. But luckily everybody made the saving throws this time.
Stay behind me.
Let's try.
Let's move up and stab the thing. There we go. Sneak attack for 30 points of damage. Great stuff. Skin it. Nope, didn't manage to skin it. Ooh. Composite longbow. A lucky composite longbow. I'm guessing it's not the same kind of luck bow thing that you would get in D&D. Acid Arrow, Scorching Ray, and... Nice, not bad.
Follow my lead.
How's your con? Yeah, your con's only a -2, you'll be fine. Actually, Tristan can repair that right now for you. Because I still have this thing prepared. Did it say by 4? Where did it put that bow? I'd have to compare it against a normal longbow. Yeah, I'm guessing the lucky is increasing its critical modifier. Yeah, critical multiplier for this weapon is by 4 instead of by 3. It's also a +1 longbow, which is precisely exactly the same as what we've got here. So it's not going to do an increase of damage, but it is going to... Ooh, it does actually increase the damage. Why is that? Oh, it's a composite bow, which means that you get to add on your strength score. Add your strength bonus to the damage with the bow. Rather than the longbow, which doesn't allow you to do that. So it's actually bumped it up by 2 points of damage. 3 points of damage when he's not fatigued. Along with when it crits, it's now a by 4 multiplier. For extra ridiculousness.
In due time.
Well, this is a quaint little place to come. I mean, totally useless for my whole troll problem. I have a feeling that the troll problem is actually going to be over at the Dwarven Ruins. 50% of... 50%, that's really cool. 50%, so many rules. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the... See, I like that about Pathfinder, is that there is a lot of rules to cover a lot of different circumstances, and it really does help build your character, because you want to be lucky. Yeah, you can be lucky. You can get a lucky bow and get that little bit extra on a crit. You can take feats that will help you crit more often, but that's against the payoff of not having the feats and abilities that allow you to do other things more often. Characters in Pathfinder are so customizable, and there's a lot of factors that help just tweak you in the right direction, that if you follow through with them, allow you to, without breaking the system so much, really hone in your character. One of the issues for longevity I have with D&D 5th edition is I've been playing it for 5 years now. Yes, they've come out with a couple of new classes, and they've come out with a couple of new archetypes, but for the most part, I feel that a lot of 5th edition characters for D&D don't really evolve and become thematically diverse once you're past level 3. Level 1 in some cases. Wizards, clerics. Maybe not wizards. But yeah, as soon as they've chosen their archetype, that's it. You can pretty much predict how that character is going to be for the next 20 levels. Sure, you might dip into a different class, but that basically just starts meaning, okay, for every class level of that you take, the wizard or the primary class starts coming down on where it ends up, and the second class starts going up until it tops out at 20. Anyway, it's been an hour and a half. I am going to take a break. So let us put on the BRB screen. Let us start up the background music. And I shall see you all in about 10 minutes. Be right back. Greetings and salutations, welcome back to my stream where I'm playing through Pathfinder Kingmaker. I was just spending the entire time seeing if I could, one, get a sub-goal line set up. I might be able to, but the only thing that I found was a YouTube video, and we discovered the other day that if I play a YouTube video, you'd be able to hear it, so that wouldn't have been a great thing. And my subtitles have stopped working again, so they'll be going off again. A little bit annoying that. Yeah, with D&D, I find that it is very clear cut that you can't do a thing. You know, you can't use a healing kit to heal somebody's hit point damage unless you have the feat. So miraculously, you go from having this healer's kit that can stabilize somebody to giving them some trivial amount of hit points. In D&D, you would suffer so hard if you didn't have a class who could cast healing spells. Not saying that it's impossible, but you would struggle. Yes, okay, it's dependent on the GM. They might allow the healing kit to do a little bit more. They might allow for the approach of somebody with some magical inclination, although not particularly to take a healing spell, or, you know, imbuing somebody with a power that gives them sort of like 3 healing words a day, or something like that, just to keep the players from dying. Or you could twist it around and sort of like start rolling back the monsters so that they're not as deadly, so that the challenge is still there, but it's not going to kill a party without healers. There's a lot that you can do when it comes to making it work from the GM side of the things. With Starfinder, I much preferred and find it that the GM doesn't have to do anything in those terms. I've seen this on a couple of groups, Facebook mainly, but it's all like, my players don't have a mystic, my players don't have an envoy, what are we going to do for healing? And it's like, are you a player or are you a GM? I'm the GM. You are going to do nothing. That's the player's problem. It is something that they will need to figure out how to overcome, and they will overcome it or they will perish. And as you proved with Alpha, there's lots of things that you can do to get it to work. With D&D, you've got a ranger, a fighter, a rogue, and a monk in your party. What are they going to do for healing? They're not. They're going to die. Unless one of them takes a dip in a level, which thematically doesn't really make sense. It's like, yes, I'm a barbarian. I've slashed things and hacked things to death, but I went to bed feeling rather distressed one night because my entire party had been hacked to pieces and everybody was bleeding all around me, and I decided to find religion. I woke up in the morning and became a cleric. Ta-da! I can now cast healing spells. At least in Pathfinder, it's like, I'm still a barbarian, but I figured out how to... I'm still a barbarian, but I figured out how to tie bandages, apply tourniquets, and tell people to suck it up.
Healing is my goddess's greatest gift. If only I didn't have to use it so often.
The thing is, though, taking a feat, yes, but this is with 5th edition. If you realize at about level 4, yeah, after level 4, that you need to take a feat to get some degree of, healing kit that will apply a trivial amount of healing. You've then got to wait 4 further levels. And those are 4 slow levels. If you play by XP rules rather than milestoning. And like I say, I'm not saying that it's impossible, I just find that there's a lot more that will assist in making it thematical. With Alpha, making sense of going from lawyer to medic. It does make sense in some regards. He's a lawyer. That doesn't say that he is going to be a frontline fighter. A lawyer also indicates a degree of intelligence, which is something that you need to be if you're going to become a surgeon. And why did he go from lawyer to medic? Because people were getting shot. And Alpha felt the need to do something rather than just lawyer up. Yeah, I suppose it's more mechanically minded players, but at the same token, I feel that the mechanical aspects of it allow people to have a character that they want definitively, rather than trying to make it fit. I've seen a few people in D&D, it's like, oh, I want to be this kind of person. And it's like, well, that doesn't really fit any of the classes that are there, but if you took 3 levels in this, and a couple of levels in that, and the rest of them in this, then you could reach this point. And it's like, it kind of has all the aspects of this concept that you wanted. And I'm not saying that Pathfinder is in any way, shape, or form a flawless system. I appreciate, to a certain degree, that there's a lot of rules and a lot of confusion about it at times. Because
I'm open to your orders.
Of the fact that there is so much to take in. Yeah, to a certain degree, Alpha had no business. Hello. Oh, there's bandits up on the hill behind us as well. I did not see him there. That's a lucky crossbow doing longbow doing 32 points of piercing damage on a 1d8 plus 4. Can you dash to that guy? Yes, you can. And that's a natural one. Whee! I'm almost feeling sorry for these bandits. Almost. Not entirely. They are bandits. They did try to attack me. Or ambush me.
This should
One
do
thing I
it.
didn't do during the break was get another coffee, but I've got a bottle of water around. And a little bit of coffee left in my mug.
You forced my hand.
Come on, Tristan, finish it in the first round. Ah, well, you tried.
I aim true.
Curious. I have a feeling that there might be another one up on this hill. Nope. Is there somebody actually sneaking around behind us? It was an ambush after all. Oh. Where did you just get shot from? Oh, over there.
A calculated risk.
Only somebody does what they say that they were going to do.
I'll try to make this swift.
Alright. Time to just annihilate him. Oh, you had to move. That wolf has got some movement speed on him. Yeah, I'm not, British Bumbershoot says, I think that's what I mean by I'm not a mechanical player. If I want to play a concept for a character, I'll play the character that way. As my concepts for the character doesn't include can do this action at this level or whatever. My character concepts aren't really based on mechanics. It's a person, if that makes sense. It's a persona. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's like, the thing is, if you want, in D&D, I find, or in many role-playing games, it's like, I want to play this concept. I want to play this concept that my character is just a lawyer. Everything that they do is legally orientated, and how will they get through this adventure? And the answer is they have no business being there. So you kind of had to adapt the lawyer into kind of being there. You could have just had him hammed him up a lot and so like continued to being the legal person who is continually ducking behind cover, but then you could end up with being more of a hindrance to the party than helping out. It's difficult to describe without actually having somebody in mind or something in mind that I know that doesn't fit with D&D or Pathfinder. I suppose that's one possibility. Yeah, that was another thing about Alfred. Is he very rarely actually shot anybody. He shot around them to give them harrying and covering fire. But he very rarely shot anybody because he's a lawyer and he's not really geared up to that kind of thing. But by doing that, you really did assist the party. Which is just something, well, you can do it in D&D, but it's not as effective, or it kind of is effective. You can help somebody and give them advantage on their attack, or you can help defend them and give disadvantage to hit them. But I don't think there's anything that allows you to do both, and I don't think the helping them to grant disadvantage on the enemy attacking them is actually in the rules either. I think that would just be something that's fairly easy to make up on the spot. one of the things that is actually in a completely different system, but I'm going to bring it in here because it's not something that you can actually do in either Starfinder or D&D, is you can't be a time traveler. Sure, you can say that you're a time traveler, and you can pretend like everything in the world is just alien and new to you or old to you in terms of the technological landscape. But unless you can play a character like that, and then you can actually be any class that you want, because that's not an integral part of the mechanics side of things. But one of the problems with both of those is like, I'm a time traveler, and it's like, alright, as a time traveler, let's say that you're going back in time towards D&D, it's like, how the fuck do you know how to wield a sword with such proficiency? How do you know how to cast magic, or what divines are around at that period of time? Yes, divinity lasts throughout the ages, potentially. I'm not going to get into the whole arguments of that. But likewise, you flip it on its head. There's nothing mechanically there that says that you want to be a time traveler, and this is how you can achieve it in Starfinder either. I just feel sometimes when in D&D, there's actually a section on future rules for sci-fi players in the Player's Handbook. It's actually in the DMG, and it's not a great section. It's like 1, maybe 2 pages long. I actually reviewed this the other day because I was talking about the Curse of Strahd and the fact that there's a firearm in the Curse of Strahd. I don't think you discovered it in your playthrough. But it's there, and the players have to try and make sense of it, and when they make sense of it, they actually get a musket. With a limited number of shots. Yeah, I'm 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. If it's added in well to a system, then firearms aren't the worst thing in the world. But at the same token, it can really wreck the mood if everybody saw like ye olde knights and horses and wizards, and then somebody comes along with a gun and just shoots you between the eyes. It's like, the fuck just happened here? But where was I trying to go with this? I was going somewhere. In Starfinder, Trix decided that she wanted to be the fastest person. And by being and to be the fastest person, she did a lot of taking a lot of feats and taking a lot of things that mechanically, yes, they're all there. If you wanted to do something similar and be the fastest person in D&D, it's a Tabaxi Rogue, and I think you need to be about 2nd level, and that's it, you're maxed out. That's as fast as you can go. Mechanically. You cannot get any faster. Tell a lie, you might want to throw a few levels of wizard in there and get haste. and that might make you a little bit quicker. But there's not many options for it. And Trix didn't max out her speed. There was a few options that she didn't actually take. And yeah, it's a little bit the difference, an argument in semantics between the difference between mechanical and yeah, but why is a character desire to be the fastest person in the world not a character thing? You know, she wanted to be the rogue who got in and out before anybody had a chance to blink and run off with the prize.
This is for you.
How is that not a character effect? Or a character desire? He made the mistake of trying to move. Okay, that's just junk. Up over here for this bandit. Junk. Not a junk. Masterwork club somehow. I'm not saying it's not how you should think of characters. I'm saying that when I think of my characters, I don't include mechanical elements, which impacts my perspective of different systems. But to me, they almost seem synonymous. You know, I want to roleplay a coward. There doesn't have to be anything mechanical there. But how does this make a difference to the game? Yes, you can say that you're a coward, and yes, you can stumble and not do anything on the first round of combat, and you can play it defensively, and that is fine. That is how you can play a coward. But in Starfinder, there is literally feats that you can take that will allow you to do cowardly things. If you are in combat and observe the initiating action, you can scream like a coward. That has a mechanical bonus to other people, but at the same token, it allows you a mechanical trigger to play up being a coward. There's other things about being a coward. There's another feat that basically you can duck and hide behind another character. And in doing so, you basically use them as a human shield. Their AC goes down by 1, your AC goes up by 1. The act of ducking behind somebody is cowardly, and it helps personify that, but it also has a mechanical benefit and disadvantage within the game. You know, by the definition of role-playing,
That is not far.
and just choosing a character, choosing a persona, and building up a character around that, it literally doesn't matter what system you play, because I can play a cowardly barbarian, I could play a cowardly warlock, I could play a cowardly technomancer. It doesn't matter. It's not going to have any mechanical impact on the game, but from a role-playing perspective, it works, it fits in. Because, you know, combat occurs and I run away from it. I hide behind other characters. I use a bow or something like that. I make sure, you know, if it's so like I could take the shot and then move, or I could move and then move again to make sure that I'm going from behind one cover to a cover that is further away. I can play that in both systems equally. It's just the feats in Starfinder and Pathfinder, I feel, allow for that little extra that gives you a mechanical bonus to trying to play out that character. I mean,
should be.
To a certain degree, like I say, you can play any system, and one system that I highly recommend that you potentially get into is the Numenera system. I've already told you about that one, and I keep meaning to mention Fly Free or Die.
All according to plan.
Again, this is just more mechanic stuff, so it's a little bit hit and miss. We got ferocious wargs.
Right here, my friend.
Be on guard.
Let's get an opening volley. Delay until Valerie moves.
I'll fight if I have to.
Ban that guy. So yeah, Fly Free or Die. For those of you not in the know, if there is anybody else still around listening, is the latest adventure path for Starfinder. It has just started releasing, and when I say it's just started releasing, I have it on subscription for Paizo, and one of the benefits of being a subscriber to the adventure paths is as soon as the
So it's come to this.
item ships, you also get a PDF copy of it, and so they started shipping it out to people yesterday. As far as I'm aware, my copy definitely got shipped yesterday. I know this because I have access to the PDF. Well, hey. And
You can't stop
so I
me.
started reading it last night, and it is potentially going to turn into one of my favorite adventure paths. I've yet to read it. I've yet to read it in its entirety. So this is just sort of like
I'm
first
wounded.
glimpse stuff at
This was hurt.
what I've managed to glean so far. I don't even think I'm halfway through it, for example. Need to move you a little bit forward so we can get off the blast. But I did take a quick squint at the back of the book. And in the back of the book is sort of like the elements that help drive it. And in the back of this particular book is alternative rules on Starship build points. I say alternate rules. Basically, you still have caps to the amount of build points that you get per average party level. But
Calm down.
it is
Not dead
offset by the fact that you can now trade
Consider
goods.
provoked.
There's a bunch of mechanics and notes for how to trade goods. Rather than costing credits, trade goods actually cost ship build points. Because one of the things about it is you also get to use these build points to, the concept here is that the trade goods are so expensive and
Not hide from me.
is going to be in such volumes that mere credits don't really cut it. It also allows for them to introduce the concept a little bit about being able to players being able to upgrade their own ship, which is something that a lot of people have been asking for since Starfinder pretty much got introduced. It's all like, my players want to be able to upgrade their ship, and it's like they get to upgrade their ship when they level up. And it's all like, yeah, but I kind of want them to allow them to buy upgrades if they've got enough credits for it. I did a credit to build point analysis a while ago. It sounds like it's going to be the big one if Starfinder... With Starfinder, if it gets out there. If what gets out there? The Adventure Path. It's out there. Well, it's getting out there. And yeah, I did a credit to build point analysis, and it's all you cannot definitively say a build point for a ship costs this many credits. And because somebody said, oh, what happens if we make it, 30,000 credits? And it's like, 30,000 credits, as in getting some actual popularity. If they're tapping into the flower, I mean, how popular do you want it to be before you actually say that it's popular? I've just alt tabbed out because I want to just double check something. Because I want to see 15,000, and where's the other one? Dubry, what's it? This one is a further 2,500. So about 17,000 people out there are in Starfinder on Facebook. Now, Facebook isn't the be-all and end-all of social media. There's probably lots of Starfinder. I think Starfinder is doing fairly well for its popularity given its age. And one of the problems with any system, to a certain extent, is it D&D? No, therefore it's not as popular, and probably never will be. But yeah, so there's rules in there for that. I won't tell. Just a little look on Twitch. Starfinder title has 400 to 500 followers. Oh no, sorry, 5,000 followers. 2,000 followers. I mean, one of the problems with Twitch is not every Starfinder game that I see being streamed is classified under Starfinder. I see some Starfinder being streamed under Dungeons and Dragons because people who don't know any better don't know any better. So to try to get people who are interested in tabletop role-playing games, they go under Dungeons and Dragons because if you don't know any better, you just think that Dungeons and Dragons is de facto the tabletop role-playing game. Twitch also has a tabletop role-playing game section, which is another place where you might want to basically be thought, well, I don't want to go by Starfinder because not as many people know it or know of it as they know of or search for tabletop role-playing games.
Where to run?
You know, I appreciate that, yes, if there was 20,000, 30,000 or a comparable number to D&D followers of Starfinder, then it'd be a more telling number.
In due time.
But I mean, one of the problems that any system has for not being D&D
listening.
is how many people have heard of anything
Time's
other than
not
D&D
waiting.
if they're not already in the clicks. Comments on not having great numbers. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that it's as good or it's ever going to get as great numbers as. Where are all the pets? Why are all the pets not out? I think the midget
eyes
Lindsay
open.
still has one of the pets. I think she does. Yeah, I'm never going to lie and say, oh yeah, they've got D&D kind of numbers. And yes, it is. It's an emerging system. You know, don't forget, it's only been 2, maybe 3 years since it was released. 2 hours? I think it'd be having to come on for 3 years now. Hey, people, prepare to be banned. I have moderators for these kind of things. Hiya! Where is it? Why does the hiya not work? Hiya? Fine, I'll do it myself. Where's my stream? Do I have my stream open on the button tab somewhere? I do not. Twitch. Oh wait, no, I won't be able to do it from this bleeding computer. How do I do this? Yeah, I can do it. I've already got it in mod mode. Spam malicious links or a bot account. Go. I think it's a bot. Could you provide? You may include. What? No, just. I want to report. Oh, blood and sand. Twitch, why do you make it so difficult to report them? Just take a copy of the fucking message. Ban them. And bye-bye other person. And ban them too. There we go. They're gone. I have my stream open on my works laptop so that I can see when people are commenting. Which I could possibly do with a second monitor for that. But no, I don't think they're likely to get D&D numbers anytime soon. As an emerging system, yes, they're a little lower on the numbers than I would like. I mean, I would love for
This requires your attention.
what requires my attention. I mean, I'm guessing you mean this box. Spectre, hello. Ghost. In front of the ruined temple, you see a ghost, an old man walking the grounds. Noticing you, he smiles and nods. Dorsey said you'd sold your daughter to the Fae. Is this true? What? Who are you? You want to know about me? Name's Wilbur. Wilbur Colton. I'm the headman of this place. You're not locals, are you? Welcome. I'm dead, right? And all the rest as well. I keep forgetting. That's old age for you. Can you tell me what happened here? I love how chilled this requires your attention as a reaction to seeing a ghost. I think she was talking about this requires your attention was a hidden object, but yeah, it's about just how it played out. It's like, I think this requires your attention. I don't want to deal with the ghost. Happened? Where? Ah, the village. Aye, something bad happened here. Problem is, I can't remember a thing. Everything was going along just as it should. I was preparing for my daughter Nita's wedding, and then all went dark. I must have passed on before the village was destroyed. Why are you a ghost? Which ghost? Ah, right. Something won't let me rest in peace. Did I anger Estriel? No, that wasn't that. Ah, I remember now. It's these lights. They're the reason. They keep creeping out of the wall, whispering, hissing, and ruining my sleep. Aye, it's all because of them. Dorsey said you sold your daughter to the Fae. Is that true? Dorsey. That's the one to listen to. Ha! That rascal would have some tales to tell, no doubt. He was her fiancé, you see. Rich, handsome. He was courting her. And then all of a sudden she changed her mind about being wed. My Nita went for a walk in the woods and found a new love there. One of the Fae. Naturally, drove Dorsey into a rage, screaming the Fae had charmed her away. But think a moment. What man can compare to the beauty of the Fae? Nita left to Dorsey of her own free will. Your daughter married one of the Fae? Maybe she did. By the time the wedding I had passed. Still, the Fae marriage isn't unheard of here in the village. Fae live close to the woods. Trysts happened, love bloomed, children were born. Take Elder Vernex, for instance. Her mom conceived her in the forest. Her father, a satyr of all things. Helga was born with greenish skin and sharp ears. Oh, but so sharp, pretty she was. I wish I knew what happened to her. There's a lot of weird things going on in this village. I mean, there's Fae involved, so that's probably a given.
I believe I found something.
But yeah, Fly Free or Die, it's probably likely to become a fan favorite.
Interesting.
Especially for the mechanics for upgrading without the necessity to level up, and also as part of the I wouldn't say leveling up. Oop. Somebody stepped in to the mists.
Follow my lead.
Could we all just not be stood in the mists? Is that a possibility? I mean, this seems like a terrible idea. Let's move back. Oh, yep, everybody just go dancing in the mists. Why not? Right, the guy with the really big bow. Move forward a little until you can see the tree.
I aim
Shoot the tree.
Let's finish them quick.
Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Bum ba bum. Do me a favor, endless restoration armory. What? Oh, yeah, you don't actually have enough actions this round because it takes 4 rounds to do it. I think that's the equivalent of missing a broadside of a barn. I think it's more the equivalent to it. It looks like a barn. He didn't so much as miss, more it just kind of bounced off the hard outer surface. Anyway, now that we have their attention, I want to run away. God, will you make that bleeding save? Right, hopefully the tree comes for us. It should get here any moment now. Rightio, we'll off for a long rest. Good luck with your advanced tree husbandry. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get off after this one myself. I totally forgot that there was a time shift between the UK and the US, and my friend has already started streaming her Starfinder game that I actually would kind of like to go watch. So I'm actually going to call it a little bit early this week. Back to my usual schedule of 3 hours when the clocks get themselves sorted out. Thank you for coming. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. And I will try to be a little bit more clued up on what I am going to be doing going forward. next week on Tuesday. Don't forget to check out my schedule. Don't forget to give me a follow. And there is also going to be a giveaway when I reach 50 followers. So tell everybody, tell your friends, tell your enemies. We'll take them. There's going to be a £10 Steam or Paizo gift card giveaway when I reach 50 followers. Alright, thanks for coming. Taddy bye. Oh yeah, we're also going to go raid my friend who's playing Starfinder. So if anybody wants to tag along, feel free to join me.